They looked at where I came from and they wrote me off the page. Said I'd never rise above it, said I'd never leave this stage. Counted every failure like it was the final word on me. Never saw the God inside me and the person I would be. They whispered in the corners, put my name in doubtful mouths. Said the dream I carried in me would amount to nothing now. But every word they spoke against me became fuel beneath my feet. The very ones who called me low, watch God lift me to my feet. Yeah. You called it wrong. You called it wrong. You called it wrong. I'm still here and I'm still strong. You said I'd fall. You said I'd fail, but God had another story, another trail. I am chosen. I am sealed. I am everything that God revealed. Not what you labeled, not what you named. I am who God said, and it's not what you claim. I used to let those voices rent a room inside my head. Replayed every cruel verdict, every careless thing they said. Wore their words like heavy shackles, dragging heavy on my soul. Till the voice of God broke through and finally made me whole. He said, I knew you before they formed an opinion of your name. I called you and I crowned you, and your purpose stays the same. So I shook off every label, every lie they tried to pin. The real me was always waiting for this moment to begin. You called it wrong. You called it wrong. You called it wrong. I'm still here and I'm still strong. You said I'd fall. You said I'd fail, but God had another story, another trail. I am chosen. I am sealed. I am everything that God revealed. Not what you labeled, not what you named, and it's not what you claim. Let me tell you who I am. I am not the rejection, I am not the rumor. I am not the season that almost broke me. I am not the name they called me in the dark. I am not their limitation or their fear. I am who God said I am, and God has never once been wrong. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Oh, I am covered by His blood and by His grace. Oh, I am purposed, I am planted, I am called. I am standing after everything I did not fall. I am royalty, I am chosen from the start. I am written in the pages of His heart. Say it with me, say it loud, say it strong. God call it right, they call it wrong. You called it wrong. You called it wrong. I'm still here and I'm still strong. You said I'd fall. You said I'd fail, but God had another story, another trail. I am chosen. And I am sealed. I am everything that God revealed. Not what you label, not what you name. Who are you? Am who God says I am. Say it louder. I am who God says I am.